had some small interruptions. I don't know exactly what was happening, but it seems like it's fine now. I think so. Um, anyway, technology and I are not always the best of friends. Um, and yeah, it's we're back now. That's what matters. So let's get to it. Um, I was I was working on the Payne's Gray stuff. Is what I was doing. God, I got a really bad force in my throat today. It's it sounds awful. Dang, allergies are crazy when the weather goes down and then it goes back up. It makes your voice a little harsh, a little harsh. And you know, there we go. That stuff always makes me a little. I always get a little bit. Uh, I don't know. My heart kind of gets a little poundy when things go wrong. I'm not really good at these sort of things, so I don't ever know if I'm doing it right or if something's wrong or what's happening. And and sometimes I get mixed up on what I'm doing, and it kind of sucks. But it's okay, and I think I have everything right now. So um, hopefully it's okay. And it looks like it's okay. I'm on there. It says there's some chat, and then now it says there's not, and I don't have any idea what's going on. Today is definitely it's definitely not been the best of days so far for getting us off the ground, but we are slowly getting off the ground now. I hope. Maybe. I'm trying to get that music back on now. Oh, okay. So we'll try to relax. I can get back in the zone. Alright, so we're coming through and we're doing all the paint spray. I'm going to go ahead and throw a layer of paint spray on the hooves. It is windy, windy, windy out there. You probably can't hear it through the mic, but it's it is blowing, blowing. Almost sounds like there's a car. Ooh, gotta get it free. Almost sounds like there's a car out there. The wind is blowing so hard. It's probably why my allergies are acting up so much. And just go ahead and knock that out real quick. Goodness. That's one thing I don't miss about chef work. Whenever you feel like this, you were just constantly washing your hands. And you could never really get anything done. It felt like you were, for every second you were able to cook something, you spent the rest of it coughing and washing your hands. Here, there ain't nobody but me and the cat's here, so anyway. Definitely glad to have everybody around. Come and see us do our stuff. Hello and welcome. This is Pieces Pat Paints. I am Pat. I said that in the last video, but we had some technical interruptions, and we are through that now, and we are back on track, which is good. Hence the take two. Alright. And now we probably need to do these little flesh pieces up here. Turn these guys into bone. Pretty easy, just pop that right on there. Nice. We need to throw a little bit more white on his eyes. We're going to need that real small brush for that. Get that 0.5 out. Eyes are always such a pain in the butt. But once you get them in there good, you don't have to mess with them, so that's the bright part of it. So try to get it in there pretty good the first couple of times. There's lots of different tricks people use to try and make it work too. That one's been giving us trouble for a while though. Okay, get this little magenta trim back up. Oh, so I was we went out last night to deliver the Hamilton figure, the Funko Pop that we painted up. It was a lot of fun. They treated us so great. Everything was amazing. I had a really big pork chop. we had quail and scallops for appetizers, and a couple of really great cocktails. Had a great server. Everything was amazing. So if you go out to Oklahoma City and you want to check out a really swanky joint and have a lot of fun, go check out Hamilton Separate Lounge. Really cool joint. Highly recommend. And while we were out, I checked our analytics for the channel, so we're finally getting some real data in, which is great. And I found that we're now up to about only 17% of our viewership comes from the U.S., which I think is really cool. I think that's really not. I mean, that's really nice, really interesting that we get broadcast around like that. You know, I'm an old Gen Xer, so I find mass communication truly fascinating and almost science fiction. science fiction-esque. Looking smashing. Okay. So now it's time to do these claws. I'm going to kind of create a mix. A wider mix of our Payne's gray. And just like we did on the shell, we're just going to do a quick dry brush. Boom, 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 boom. And this is a quick and easy way to make this stuff stand out. The hard way is edge highlighting. We might do a video on edge highlighting eventually. We do a little bit of that here and there. I might have to fix that teal. That's not good. I thought we knocked all that out. Maybe I missed it. Must have missed it. That's how that goes. All right. That should mask it enough. So, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that side. We'll go over here. And we'll start. Flip it over. Start on this one. Be careful. Alright, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, analytics. So yeah, that was really cool. And some folks are closed captioning us, which is I also think is really neat. And I learned that English and Arabic are our two biggest closed captions. So I find that's really cool. We got a lot of folks listening in and joining into Arabic, and that's really neat. I mean, that's literally on the other side of the planet, so that's super cool. And so welcome to everybody, first and foremost. But you know, definitely welcome to anybody who's joined us from far away from where I am. That's what this was all about originally. I think the internet. The being is to connect the world, you know. Maybe that's what people are afraid of with it too. When I was growing up, a lot of people were afraid of the internet. What might happen, what could happen. And definitely there's been some not so great stuff happen with the internet, but there's also been some really awesome stuff. Stuff like this. This is really awesome. In fact, we can get on here and hang out together, paint stuff, and occasionally chat about whatever. Or you guys listen to me talk about whatever. You know, that's good too. Very interesting. But there's a lot of things that I find extraordinarily fascinating that maybe not everybody else does. So hopefully you found that fascinating. Definitely coming out. I need just a little bit more. those hooves too. Just while we're here. Gotta get these claws. We'll paint this. We're gonna paint this stuff in to match the road eventually, but we can go ahead and get these hooves knocked out. These little spikes. Oh yeah. Nice. Okay. Oh, I did forget his little, I don't know, stinger. Let's call it a stinger. That sounds better than dangle. His tailpiece. Doesn't sound great either. Alright, now we're done with that stuff. Okay. So, the next thing we wanted to do was start on this. Oh, wait. We need to go ahead and I wanted to do just a little bit of white. In this teal. Definitely want to brighten that up. That's looking great. Bright blue really helps that purple look darker. Well, I hope people are able to find us over here with our need for take two. I don't know what. Definitely a learning experience. I think the longer we're on doing this, the more we're gonna get used to stuff. I think I say that a lot, but it's been coming true. The more I work at it, the better we get at little things here and there, and grow the audience, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so now we gotta talk about lace. And I was talking about doing like a road, and I found a piece of something we can use to do that. This way you don't throw stuff away. So this old cork board, we're not going to use it anymore. It's kind of damaged, and well, you know, if it's damaged and then we're not going to use it, it would normally go in the trash, you know, or you'd send it to recycle or whatever it is your area can support for rehabbing. But for us, I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it to cut out some of this corkboard. So let's go ahead and put our paints away for right now. So, alright, let's see. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this right out of here. And with any luck, it should pop out, but might not. I might have to cut it a couple times before we can pull it out of there. There we go. A little deeper that time. There we go. Oh, that's getting closer. Cut it out from the back as well. Oh yeah, here we go. We got it. Oh. Now we got quite a bit of material here. Not all of it's corkboard, some of it's like particle board. But it should give us a pretty good texture for road, okay, and we can elevate it just a little bit and maybe do a little bit of work underneath it, which kind of seems like a lot of fun to me. So maybe not our bent up side, maybe we'll go with this side over here. Let's draw a little. Draw a circle. There we go. I love these Veritas pencils. They literally do mark on just about anything. So that's always nice. We don't have to be super exact because we're gonna break a lot of this up to make it look like a broken road. But we do want to kind of retain a little bit of the shape. Mindful of your fingers. Kind of try to remember where you are with the knife and what you're doing. Don't do a lot of work in the air either. You can hurt yourself pretty bad. If it's not working out really well, sometimes it's just better go ahead and cut it again. There we go. Now we got that piece there, which is awesome. A little off on the blade there. There we go. Sometimes it sucks it down and it gets stuck in between stuff. Alright. Now we got a piece that's going to fit pretty much on top of here. Now, what we want to do is we want to figure out where we're going to set him at. Now this foot obviously has some broken stuff. We have broken area on our board here that's already chipped up. So we may chip that up a little bit and put that section over here. Yeah. Give him a little bit of a push. Hopefully that'll help mark where we're going. Not as much as I was hoping. Okay, so we'll find that plate, kind of where we want to go again. Get out our marker, or pencil, and make some marks to kind of indicate where we're going to be. Okay, now we're just going to make a little bit of hole. Now you could use like a pin vise or whatever, but that might take you a little bit longer. I'm going to get this in here. See if we can't just settle it in real quick. And not everybody has a pin vise. So if this doesn't work, you could continue to board out like that if you don't have access to one. There we go. So we got a little bit of an impression. So you could theoretically, you could take this out with your hobby knife and do it that way. You can also get, it's called a pen vise. They make a variety of different types. This is one type. There's also Dremels and other things that will do these sort of things, and they just simply work like a pen vise, and they have different thicknesses you can get in there. I have another nicer set. So this one's pretty nice. And it's all got a lot of fine bits, although I've broken some of them over the years. Well, not years. I've only had it for like a year and a half, I guess. have cats like to jump in my lap, and then I'm always in the middle of doing something, and I snap a blade. I snap one of the drill bits. So I just need some replacements. So this one kind of works the same way as the other one does. It's just a little bit of a different shape and stuff. Just kind of depends on what exactly you want to do and what exactly you have available. Because like your availability of stuff is super important. Not everybody has access to the same materials. Okay. So we know we can put him in right there. Probably want to trim off the excess stuff. The good thing is this other material looks a little bit like compressed dirt or whatever. So we should be able to just kind of go ahead and Mod Podge it and be good. My dog is barking and there's nothing out there. The life of a dog, right? She sure thinks something's out there. Although I don't think you can hear it with the new mic. I think you can... Well, I guess it's not new anymore. I've been running with this mic for a while now. Which is cool. Yeah, we're just going to trim around this. Until it lines up with the base a little better. Now, if it's thicker than this, you might want to use that other knife. We were using this knife earlier. I feel like with where I'm at right now and what I'm doing now, it would be better to use this guy. Have a little more control with with your smaller hobby knife. You can kind of make that turn a little easier than trying to use the bigger knife. So anyway, I thought it would be fun to do this one with this piece of material because it's one of those random finds where it's like, oh god, what are we gonna do with that? I guess we'll just throw it away. And you're like, oh wait a minute, no, we could do something with it. And so you have to kind of, it was that opportunity to be like, oh man, let's do that on the Screamer Killer, and we'll do a show about some reclaimed stuff. Because again, normally you just throw it away, but when you're hobbying, sometimes it's all about trying to keep your costs down or make do. Sometimes you gotta do a lot of make and do. Warhammer actually has there's a podcast called Poor Hammer. They're pretty funny guys, and they talk a lot about doing things a little cheap on the cheap or a little bit easier price wise. They talk about that sort of stuff sometimes. I think it comes from probably old jokes and stuff. Poor Hammer. I think back in the day we would all make proxies for armies and be like, well, this is my guy and he's gonna be this, because I can't find that many, and maybe we couldn't, but a lot of times it's just like you can afford that many, or maybe your parents aren't gonna buy you that many. Because that's just how that went. And some of it was legitimately you just couldn't find that many. Things are way different now. You can just order it online and it's in the mail. Here we go. which is super awesome. So we did end up cutting it a little too big to begin with when our measurement came out, but that's kind of what you want to do. It's always better to have the trim and be able to shape it to what you want it to be shaped to than to cut it wrong and have it come out messed up in the first place. Now again, I probably could have used a better tool for this. I have all sorts of Dremels and things like that, but again, I try to showcase on the videos kind of how to do it with easy to get materials and stuff that anyone can just go ahead and get a hold of. Wow, I better watch my finger. I'm cutting the snot on myself. I'm not paying attention. Okay, so now we're back to that space where I kind of wanted to pull that out, and I want to kind of make it. I want him on the road. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and pull out a pencil. And the road is broken here. So we need this to pop out a little bit. Or be rubble. Same here. Actually, it needs to come back to here, doesn't it? Cat, what are you doing? He's over there messing with the door. Here's another door over here. Alright, so no, that was Octavia. Look, kidders. What is it? Come up, please. No? Okay. No? Alright. I don't know what you want in there. There's nothing in that closet. I have two fantastic cats. And a lovely dog. And other parts of our great fantastic family. So that's our hole. So we're going to kind of work up to that. I'm going to kind of pull all the rest of this stuff out first. And then we'll come back and we'll work on that section there. Just so we don't overcut it while we're kind of working around and end up taking away material that we need to be able to balance our thing on. We definitely want this. And I might save these chips that came out and we'll use them again and kind of tilt the road down where it broke. And we gotta look at that other side because that's where his foot's coming up. But see, and that's what I'm talking about. That pulled out a little bit more than I technically wanted it to. It should be okay. Anything we take out too much, we can always just add back in and it'll be alright. Yep. this out of here. Yeah. See, now we'll glue that back into place, and it'll look like that road is cracking or whatever. Not quite easy to see from the camera, but here we go. So what we're doing is we're going to glue this piece back down on here, so it will look like part of the road kind of pushed up is the idea. So we're going to have to glue that guy down and glue everything else down and Mod Podge some stuff. Is about where we're at. We need to make sure all our trim looks good and we're happy with it. Be careful. Start cutting into that base if I'm not careful. Don't want to do that. I kind of nicked it a little bit. And that's all right. Bring it down on the board and we'll just trim it up down here. We can even do something fun back here. Add like a little worm or something. Still got a little bit of material to take off this back right here. This stuff takes just a lot of working at till you get it get it set right. And in order for it to be legal, it's got to be able to contact the black part of that base. The other bases of a unit have to be able to touch the base. So gotta make sure it's all the way down there. Pretty snazzy now. If you feel like you've messed up and maybe you've got too much material you cut off and you want to even it out, you can always come back and do that stuff. Now what I'm thinking I do want to do is kind of make this look like it's the edge of the road maybe. So I just want to make a straight cut. It's just going to take off. because I want to get down too deep and cause a problem. But I do want to create the edge of the road. So I want to take off the cork. There we go. And we can always fill this with gravel or whatever have you. But now we've got an edge to the road. Alright. Get that stuff cleaned up real quick. It's just a can of air. But it works nice. It works good for that sort of stuff. I mean, I'll have to clean it all up back later from back there, but it gets off any excess stuff we have on here, which is kind of what we're trying to do. And then now we're gonna go ahead and come back with one of our junk brushes. Get you an old cheapo plastic Walmart dollar store special synthetic brush. Making sure it's not too coarse. And this is a black mixed Mod Podge. And I am going to cover with it, and it's going to help kind of make sure all of this stuff is going to stick into place, and it almost kind of primes it a little bit for us, gives us a base to the color. We might end up having to put another primer on top of it, depends on, but I don't think so. With as much as this soaks this stuff up, I doubt very seriously. This should do both those tricks for us at the same time. Plus, I think we're going to flock that. What we're really trying to do is just secure the particle board, make sure it's not gonna separate on us. Later on down the road, you know. We're gonna do this too. Real thin coat though. We don't need this to be a super thick coat on the cork part of it. But on this particle board, be generous. And you know, it'll do a couple things with what sealing it, so it'll be easier for us to use and stuff like that later down the road. We add stuff to it, it'll stick better, and if it gets wet, it won't necessarily mess it up. Because if we start putting paint to this particle board, Lord only knows what's going to happen. It could just start separating like crazy. We don't want that. Uh-oh. Disconnected. And reconnected. I'm so irritated with Cox. I'm still waiting on a new internet service to start. They're supposed to come and get somebody out on this pole. But I ain't seen hide nor hair of nobody. So we are going to have a conversation on the phone with Cox. You're messing up my money. Not really. I don't make any money doing this. At least not yet. Maybe one day we'll be making money painting on the internet. How funny would that be? I I mean, I know I would love it. Could have put some gloves on. Probably should have. Try to get into those cracks real good. Really don't want that separating out on us. It's gonna look great as mud though once it's all dried out. That'll look good. Alright, we're gonna let that dry for just a second, and then we'll get it. We'll go to the other side, and we'll have to let it. We'll have to let it settle up before we can give it a little air. Just because it's fun, right? I don't think that actually helps it dry. Maybe it does. It's like blowing on it. Oh, wait a minute. Did I throw away our chunk? Dang it. I think I did. I think I threw away the piece we were trying to save. Well, that's irritating as all heck. Who knows where it went down in here. I thought I'd saved it. I thought I'd put it aside. I guess I didn't. That's alright. Well, poopers. Dang it. I got so excited about cleaning up. I jumped ahead of myself. I really think my trash can ate it. I really did think I put that off to the side. Oh well. We'll just make it more crumbly. It should be just fine. Yeah, it was alright. Alright, should be dry enough. We can sit on that side. We go ahead and put this much polish down. Definitely don't be shy on this side. And we're gonna have to let it dry for a while, so that means we are getting to the end of today's program, which went along pretty fast once we got started. We got a lot of this stuff done pretty quickly. Yeah, we're still gonna end up with a little extra long show. Okay. Well, today we are getting our bases up, or getting our bases finished up. And we might roll a little longer. We might be able to get a little further on this. So right now I'm getting the base set up for this guy, which is our turd. And this is Bill Allen has asked, "Hey Pat, what are you painting today?" So we've gotten this guy paint some rocks. Yeah, kinda, yeah. So so this guy is gonna go on on this. This is our base for that guy. And we're going to try to make it look like a road with a little bit of grass beside it and some dirt and such down where the road has kind of cracked apart. I'm waiting. Currently, I'm waiting on a few things to finish drying up. This was a piece of old, and it was an old cork board that my kids used to have for chores and whatnot. We now use an app, which is so much easier. But you know, we were going through a bunch of stuff, and I was gonna throw out. Audio levels are really low. I can. Oh wait. Is backwards the whole day. Is that better? Is that, hopefully that's sounding better. I had my microphone flipped the other direction. The receiver part of the mic is on one side and the other is on the other. And I had it backwards. So now I don't. And now I'm good. So anyway, I'm going to let that dry just a little bit longer. And then we'll put some black down on there. And we're, yeah. I don't know. I had it backwards. I'm kind of a technical goof. Like I'm still trying to get better at all of that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you said something. I definitely I spent like 50 minutes with nobody being, or people barely able to hear me. Okay. So anyway, like I said, this is a mixture of Mod Podge and some cheap black paint, and we're gonna let that, and it's almost dry. We're gonna let that settle in. I'm letting that dry a little bit longer too, and we should be able to get that started. So bring this back over. All right. So we want a bigger brush. We're gonna need a bigger brush. And we can probably just keep using this cheapo. Let's clean it out real good. Yes. Okay, so Bill says, are you going to do any sort of tufts or grass or other shrub on the base? Got the monster on. And the answer to that is yes. Yes, we are. We've cut a little section away on the road here to add a little bit of our grass and things like that. And then some of these places, I'm going to probably make it look a little bit more, you know, like the dirt has mounded up in places, and we have a few tufts. And we've got some selection of gravel and tufts and stuff like that. Right now, what we're trying to do is make sure that the particle board isn't going to separate. If the particle board separates later on down the road, then we're going to be really upset. So we're trying to, this is a Mod Podge mixture that we've added to it that's going to kind of help seal it against any of the paints we're going to use and stuff like that, because we don't want the water getting inside the particle board and then making a bunch of issues, because we did cut it out of, I mean, we cut it straight out of an old thing you hang on your wall. And that's what's kind of fun about things like this. You can kind of create things using almost junk if you kind of know what you're doing. I'm thinking we might add some more cracks, but right now I wanted to get that first layer started before I got to, oh yeah, good old Mod Podge. So yes, Bill, definitely good old Mod Podge. So anyway, we're gonna add some cracks, and we know now the road's going this way. I think I want to put a crack probably right through the middle. No, just kind of
don't make it straight. Just kind of go with it. And then you just kind of want to chip away at that. Just a little bit with the tip of your knife. Let's see. See, Bill says, I'm a big fan of terrain crafting with recycled materials. Woohoo. Yes. It is definitely better if you can just kind of find things and come up with some ideas and be like, oh, that will work for us. You know, they make all sorts of different stuff that you can use if you want to buy it and things like that. And you know, it looks great, and I'm not afraid to use some of it. But when I started this channel, the idea was to kind of help people learn a little bit about how to do stuff when it came to miniatures. And I'm well aware that not everybody has the money for all the equipment, B, the space for all of the equipment, because space becomes a real big issue. I'm super lucky that I have a very supportive spouse that has let me make a studio in our house, because we are sitting in my studio in my home. But I'm a very fortunate individual with that. It's mainly to keep me from going insane, because I'm a workaholic and I was a chef and I can't do that anymore. So now I'm trying to find other things to do to keep myself from going crazy. Alright, so that little bit of a crack, we can fill a lot of that with some gravel and such. We may actually want to go ahead and connect that crack to this crack. Because the idea, I want them to all look like they're kind of transferring across this old beat up highway and road area into a grassy land. And then whatever we do with the Space Marine chapter, whichever chapter we go with, we're going to put them in the grass and hills and stuff. Bill says, crafting is a great way to chill. I used to do a lot of it. Kind of lost my crafting space when I renovated our basement a few years back. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Is, you know, you don't always have all the space to do a lot of stuff. So you have to kind of pick and choose what you're going to do, what you're not. So anyway, so we added a couple cracks, which is awesome. And we're going to go ahead and just put a little bit more of that Mod Podge in there. Again, this is going to help us glue all that down so we can come back and decorate it more later. Look great. And really going to give it some more elevation too, to kind of help it seem like, you know, because this guy should be about the same level, right? So now we've got rubble from where the highway is to, and then a part of the highway that they're on. Just kind of the idea. All right, all the way up to 6 viewers. That's sweet. I love that. I knew we'd be on a little bit longer than normal today. So, it's nice to pick up some viewers here at the second half of the show. Okay. See, I was thinking I was going to wrap up, and then now we got people on and talking. So, here, keep going. It's always more entertaining when there's folks watching and saying hello. I definitely appreciate that. Make sure we're not filling in our crack too much. We don't want it to look gloopy. But that poster board, like I said, or the particle board, is going to soak a lot of that stuff up for us. We won't have to put too much black on this road to make it look black, which is going to be awesome. If we want to make it look like a black top. All right. We'll get a little bit of Eileen's always awesome tacky glue, and we'll use that to drop this guy down on here. So the cracks look really good when it's all dry and do highlights or dry brushing on rocks and sand. Yeah, so we'll I've got a bunch of different stuff here. So I've got Armory Painter, a little bit of a ground, battlefield ground pebbles, and then I've got several different types of tufts. And I've got, what else I got? I got some different flock. And then I have a bunch of gravel out here at my house. So I like to pull out gravel, the little small pea gravels, because they work out great. You know, what works better for rock than rocks? Now this stuff is awesome. If you've never used this tacky glue, it glues just about everything in creation to itself. Alright, it's a pretty generous amount of glue. We're going to take that, set it down, and then turn it till you start to see the glue. The glue will start to come out the sides. You start to see that glue come out of the sides. Put yourself in a good position where you want it, and then let it sit. And it'll start drying. And it'll take a little while for it to dry. But it will be all right. We'll be able to paint on top of it while it's drying, so it won't be a big deal. And I'm going to try to be able to, because we should be able to put in the sideline for the highway to give it that little bit of a detail, put like a stripe here, and so it looks like he's standing on part of the highway where the rest of the stripes would come down over here. Gotta wait a little bit longer. We're still drying. And then we'll come back. We'll probably paint brown, you know, for the rest of our rocks or the ground itself, and bring that same brown we did on the psychophage, which would be a lot of fun. Always waiting around on something. Comes my puppy. She probably has to go out. Yes, puppers. Hello? 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 Did you go out? No? You just came for love? I have lots of loving animals. They're good. It's good for you. Good for you. Well. That does work pretty good. Oop, I'll have to remember that trick. Alright, so we're going to take our straight Mars black, and we're just going to black top this guy. The only part that needs the black is the road itself. Bring that camera down a little bit. There we go. So we don't have to worry about getting inside the crack. We're going to fill most of that with gravel. We might put a little brown color in it, but it may just all work out from the Mod Podge with the brown of the board underneath. So we'll let it dry a little bit more before we make any choices. We can definitely get this black on and drying while we're waiting. And that black base will really help make sure when we put the highlights on that it does come through real clean. Just make sure you tighten up your brush strokes. If you have funky brush strokes, it will definitely show up on something like a road. Alright. It's gonna look awesome. Okay, so Bill says, how many of these bases are you making? What are going to be the different sizes? And it looks like you have larger and smaller bases there. So yeah, this is an entire army of miniatures, and they're all going to have various different types of bases, depending on what kind of troops they are. I want my bigger troops to have more of the, these bigger bases are definitely warranting more of something interesting with it. Again, we did the Psychophage. I think we finished this up last week, and you can see we have a much more interesting custom base going on here, where it's sitting up on the edge of a hill, and we have a little bit of the grass in here. And then as you see the Psycho, or the Tyranid Prime, this is a more advanced unit, so it's more out into where the battle is taking place. And so, because this is for, these are armies for a game, and my kids play it, and so I want 2 house armies, because they have their own armies. So I want to make 2 kind of like house armies that are for their friends and such when they come over and play, or if my friends want to play, because we play a bunch of different types of games. I play more D&D. I'm a dungeon master, and I do a lot of D&D. And we play Star Wars. We play other types of games. But Warhammer is super cool, and I played it when I was younger. But I haven't played a game besides playing with my kids in forever. But they love it, and I was like, oh shoot, well let's definitely make this. Bill says, ooh, okay. So which minis have some bases? So the minis have some bases which look like they're already flocked. Yeah, I've got some of them already done. I'm still working on getting all these Termagants finished. They're in various stages of being completed. Eventually they'll all look like that. Yeah, right there. That's their official color scheme, which kind of matches everything else, to make it an army of bugs. But yeah, it's they'll all have the bases will be slightly different, but for these more grunt units, shock troop kind of things, I'm gonna keep it simple. Oh yeah, Bill says sounds like an awesome project. It's definitely an awesome project. We might be taking a break in between them. We did a little break in between the Psychophage and the Screamer Killer. We might take another short break and do something else if people want me to. If not, I'll just keep moving. I still have plenty of other Tyranids to do. Okay, we're just starting to get somewhere. All right. So we're gonna take our burnt umber. We're going to start adding it into any of the places where we went ground. Even if we plan on flocking it, we're going to put brown underneath it. And it's going to seem almost barely noticeable with that Mod Podge drying under there. But once this all dries up, you'll notice. I might go on a little too fast today. Probably going to have to slow down here in a second and call it for the day, but I definitely want to try to get some of this paint on while we've got a chance, so it can all dry while we're waiting overnight. We'll come back tomorrow and get the rest of it done. I'd like to have it all finished up by the end of tomorrow, so that we have the options to move on next week. Either to more Tyranids or to whatever side project we want to jump into. I do have some miniatures I have to paint for some of my friends' kids have joined my other kids' game, so I need to get in there and paint some miniatures for them. So that might be a fun side project. We're gonna add that brown in there. Yeah, definitely need to probably stop, let this thing dry up, and call this for the day. We definitely got a long way. That is going to be an awesome chunk of road when this is all said and done, and it's really going to help us get our screamer killer looking pretty spiffy. So thanks for everybody coming by. Thanks, Bill. That was awesome. Appreciate great conversation and anybody showing interest in what we're doing. It definitely makes it a lot more fun for me as the artist to have that interest, to know people are interested, and to just kind of chat, and also helps kind of refine the idea of, hey, what are we doing? I'd almost forgotten to put cracks in. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You're welcome. I like being able to bring in some zen, and I definitely appreciate the feedback. It helps a lot. But yeah, Bill jumping in and talked. I was able to add those cracks, which I was thinking about doing anyway, and I'd forgotten to do, and I was probably gonna have to do tomorrow. So we got that done, thanks to just a little bit of banter going back and forth, and that little bit of banter is super, super, super helpful. So anyway, we're gonna start winding down. We do have our base drying. It's gonna be a little bit of a piece of the road. We did get our Screamer Killer is almost ready to rock and roll. We're gonna probably need to go back through one more time with some touch-ups, but let me get where we can actually see it. There we go. We got our claws done today, and our hoofs. Those got set up today, which is great. Finished up the rest of this face, getting his little coif done, and his little whatever this his lymph nodes. I don't know what it is. Some sort of strange monster. So, but he's looking really, really good. Looking really fierce. Got a little bit more of that blue into those little tubes. We do need to, before I forget, tomorrow, we need to come back and put the magenta in the little side vent things. So we'll take care of that tomorrow, and then hopefully we'll have them on the base, and we'll have them all painted up, and we'll be ready to move on to our next bit of the project, which will either, like I said, we'll either finish this project, or we'll do a little bit of a break and do something else for a little while, and then come back to this project. It has been a while since we've been on Tyranids for a minute, but I don't mind. It's a whole lot of fun. So, hello, Charlie Curl. Hello to you. Thanks for stopping by. It's a shame. I think I'm done painting for today, but I'm definitely. Hey, yeah, thanks, Bill. I really appreciate that subscribe. It's awesome, and yeah, you have a great day too. And I'm sorry, Charlie, you're coming in here towards the very end where I'm kind of saying goodbye to everybody and wrapping up for the day. But we'll give it another quick little look around. So we've got that guy going. We do have the termagants working. They're going to look great. We're still ways away on these. Couple other pieces. And then next, I was thinking we probably if we move on into more Tyranids, then we can do these guys. And these are like, they're called Leapers. Van Ryan's Leapers. They're kind of like a type of Lictor. And Lictors are like forward assault troops. So, I've got 3 of those. So we may get into painting those. Not sure. Or we might, like I said, we might paint that piece for my player for my D&D game. It just kind of depends. But I do really appreciate everybody stopping by. I am sorry about the mix-up earlier today, and that's why we're here on take 2. Hopefully you find us over here, and you can finish up watching where we started from there. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. That'd be super awesome. I love having people by, and I definitely like the questions. Keep those things rolling, and we're gonna go ahead and get ready to sign off. I did notice that whenever I signed off lately, my videos clip off, and it's like all of a sudden it's over. So I'm gonna say hi, and I'm just gonna wait for a little while or chill out, and then I'll end the video all completely. I guess I don't know. It's a strange thing. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'm definitely gonna try to do my best to have a wonderful rest of my day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.